Yes, my dear friends, hope you are all doing well. I am SRINIVAS in front of you once again. Today I would like to talk something regarding our neighboring country deep in the south of our nation, that is Sri Lanka, a beautiful island with abundant natural resources. This country was ravaged by Tamilian problem for a very, very long time, for more than 2-3 decades, and subsequently the government could control the situation and they started the path of the development of that country. For the last 1.5 years or 2 years, the news, alarming news about Sri Lanka has been coming, and we are all witnessing the chaotic scenes like thousands of people standing in queue for 1 liter of petrol. Examinations getting cancelled because they don't have paper to supply to the students to write their examinations. Children crying uncontrollably, unable to get their daily quota of 1 glass of milk. Poor people starving because they are not able to get their pockets met with these prevailing prices of food grains. The total economy of Sri Lanka has gone to a doldrums, and what is the reason for all of a sudden such a downfall? I would like to talk regarding this. See, right from 2008 and 2009, the successive governments started depending upon the external aid in the form of taking loans, sovereign guaranteed loans. That means the country is guaranteeing that loans for repayment of that. And over the period of time, the loan amount has become too much to bear, unbearable burden, leave alone paying of the principal amount, even to pay the interest amount also, the treasury, there is no money there. Apart from that, 2019, there was a bomb blast in a church in which more than 300 people died and around 500 to 600 people got severely injured. That shook the main activity of that country, main source of income of that country, that is tourism. As I have told you, Sri Lanka is a country with abundant natural sources and ultimate beauty. The thick forests, hills, rivers going, heavenly showers falling from the sky quite often. So once this terrible attack on the community took place, it shook the entire country, and it took very long time for them to come back to the normalcy, how to contain this militancy and all. So all this had a terrible adverse impact on the tourism industry of Sri Lanka. Coupled with COVID situation, COVID really affected the country because they don't have resources to face any calamity. Take for example the case of India. We have got a able leadership. Government is extremely strong in the central government. They are having a lot of foresight and they have taken a lot of measures. That is why we could at least mitigate some of the sufferings of the COVID situation. Whereas in most countries, particularly our neighboring Sri Lanka, they really suffered. Unemployment started rising. The agriculture, and one more thing, there is a parliamentary elections in 2019, presidential elections 2019 and parliamentary elections in 2020, and the Rajapakse, they have promised a lot of freebies, like chocolates, what we give to our children, and what we are witnessing even in our own country, wherever state elections are taking place. In many of the states, we see, I give you a computer free, I will give you a laptop free. These are all called freebies. So whenever the freebies percentages is increasing, it actually affects your budget and your income and your expenditure. And slowly you will lose control of your monetary situation, and it goes beyond the control. So Rajapaksa, when he took the government, he has announced a lot of tax cuts. When I am not having anything in my pocket, why should you be benevolent to somebody? I need tax amount to administer the country. So that basic principle, the successive governments there, they have forgotten, they have concentrated totally on palliating the people with a lot of freebies. So the income, there is no production has gone down, tourism industry, no income, it has gone down, and the sovereign debt went on rising year after year, and followed with this bomb blast and this cutting of taxes, less income, followed by, they have taken a very strange decision that they want to go away from the normal farming to organic farming. So, okay, the thought is very good, but they have wanted to implement everything at a time. So, it has had an effect of, very adverse effect on the agriculture production of that country. So, in all the ways, the country started losing their economic power. $1, the Sri Lankan rupee got depreciated to such an extent that you need to spend 288 to 290 Sri Lankan rupees to get $1. That means you have to carry one gunny bag load of currency to get one section or two sections of US currency. So the GDP was something around $80 billion, and the debt started going up, and it went up to the stage of $96 and odd million of dollars. The debt is 96, whereas the production is around 80, GDP is 80. So more than 120% of that GDP is going towards the debt. So how to service the debt? If you take the current account is gradually declining, and it is going into the fathoms of deficit. If you take the trade balance of payment position, trade deficit, everything is in a negative state. And in the meanwhile, some of the neighboring countries in our northern borders, they wanted to enhance the pathetic economic conditions of Sri Lanka, and they have taken some important strategic ports and airports in the name of development, and they have certain, they could get some of the control over the important strategic points of Sri Lanka, which is indirectly affecting our country too. Now the foreign exchange reserves are something around 2.31 billion, and they need to pay around $4 billion of debt in this. So where from they will get the business? So sovereign debt, in case of a default, what will happen? No country will be giving a loan to them. The rate of interest will become more. So ultimately where it is going to land? India being a friendly neighboring country, central government has already done the help, extended the help to the extent of $2.5 billion. So that is a great help to them, and so we need to see how the situation is going to be, and how our northern borders, the countries like which are situated across the northern border of our country, how India should tactically avoid those countries coming and having a stake in this our important North Indian border, our Sri Lanka. So these are all the things. Situation is extremely fluid, but fortunately, because country, okay, it is suffering, but we should always try to safeguard our own interest, our own economic security interest we need to take care, because Sri Lanka is located in the extremely strategic point. So security point of view, it is very important area for us. So now government is taking a lot of steps now to settle the situation there. Let us hope. See, excess borrowings in your house, your office, your state or your country, more than what you get, if you spend more, and the situation will be like this. Even the country also, the situation will be like this. So it is a lesson to every state government in our country, and we should open our eyes at least now. Let us hope the situation in Sri Lanka will improve. Thank you, Srinivas.